Charts have the potential to visually demonstrate your hypothesis. They can show patterns and behaviors you can't see otherwise. Unfortunately, one of the most static objects in research presentations is the chart. It is common to see brilliant researchers and engineers overwhelm their audience with a chart that looks like an spaghetti dish, an entire plate that you are expected to eat in one bite. Impossible, right? Motivated by this point, one question came to my mind. How can we make charts more digestible in real talks, and how can we keep the audience attention while presenting a chart? In this video, I will show you the alternative I use, Chart.js plus Reveal.js, how it looks in a real demo, and I will show you how to use it for your own presentation. So here we have our beautiful template made with Reveal.js. So far we haven't shown the chart. So our first fragment will be dedicated to tell the audience there will be a chart in this place, and we will present the axis and the upcoming data. Here, as a second fragment, you can see that we added just one dataset. This is enough to introduce the idea of what the chart is about without overwhelming our audience, and how it is part of the whole process. We are able to lead the attention of our audience to specific parts of the chart. In this case, we dim the intensity of the line and we introduce the uncertainty band. Now is the time to introduce a second dataset. You can now notice how we are introducing complexity to the chart without visually overwhelming our audience and leading the argument step by step. Additionally, and this is something that I greatly recommend, add some accent colors to bring the attention to some specific parts of the chart. I can guarantee that if you build your chart step by step in your presentations, people will be always able to follow your thoughts and easily understand which is the story behind your chart. Now I will briefly present the code that I'm using to create this slide. For you to understand how easy it is, keeping in mind that once you do it for one chart, you can reuse it again for all your presentations. So what we have to do is creating a chart.js script that can be used along with Reveal.js, and we will define what the fragment does in terms of activities applied on the chart configuration. The first part of the script are the defaults. Here we define the border color, the font size, the style of the labels, and general defaults that we will use across all our charts inside the presentation. Here we have a very important line, and it's the registry. The registry allows the fragments from Reveal.js to identify the right charts by ID. As a third part, we have a color parser. This will be very useful in the case that we want to change color, as we already demonstrate in our demo slide. As a fourth part, and here is when everything starts getting interesting, we will have apply action and define actions. For this small demo, I have created 4 different cases: show dataset, hide dataset, dim dataset with reduce the alpha value of the line, and color dataset that will change, as its name indicates, the color of the shown dataset. In the same way, we can define an action or activity for any possible configuration inside Chart.js. So we have many possibilities to animate inside a presentation. And here in this last function is when we are wiring Reveal with Chart.js. The Reveal.js configuration should call this function every time a fragment is shown or hidden. Let me know in the comments if you want me to explain this part in detail in a future video. And this is how you use it in HTML. You just define which activity or action will be performed on each fragment, and you use it as part of your Reveal.js fragment logic. For this example, we have defined a JSON configuration, which is also providing the datasets. Of course, you can also configure it to fetch your data from your own files and datasets. And that's it. This is how we can go from a very visually cluttered chart to a step-by-step construction of a story that everyone can understand. If you want the full code walkthrough and a reusable template, vote in the comment below and tell me your use case. Uncertainty bands, thresholds, annotations, bar charts, and I will publish the part 2 of this video. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it.